Hey guys, I'm here once again with Mike from Balance My Hormones. We've been shooting a couple of videos today and we thought it would be a good idea to shoot something that gets requested a lot by some of my users, but also some of his viewers on his channel. And if you're looking for Mike's channel, I'll leave a link for that in the description below so that you can go check out his videos as well. But a lot of people ask, how do you administer HCG? So Mike has been kind enough to join us, and he is, I mean, you're on HCG.
I'm on HCG, this is my prescription.
So he's actually going to show you the whole process of preparing it and injecting it today. So I thought that would be an interesting video, and I'm going to hand over to you.
All right, thanks Paolo. So this is my injection day of HCG. Some people want to know how often you should inject, and that's depending on what the doctor, but for me, the doctor's recommended that I use it the last 2 days or 3 days before my next testosterone injection. So this is one of those, this is the day, like 3-4 days before my next testosterone injection, so I'm doing my HCG today. What you need to make sure you've got is all your supplies ready. You need to have your syringe. This is a syringe. You can have either a Luer lock or a Luer slip. And the difference between a Luer lock and a Luer slip is a Luer lock, it just screws on, and a Luer slip, it just you press it on and it should be fine, but it can also slip off. I recommend a needle filter, helps filter out any particles, and it's blunt, but it's long enough to go into the ampules of HCG, and then a small short needle, which is actually a subcutaneous needle that you can put on top of the same syringe that you would use for your testosterone injection. So you can buy the same packet of syringes and just change out the needles when you need them, and then also some alcohol swabs. So and then your actual pregnal or HCG. So the best way I think to start is getting a syringe ready along with the needle filter. So I'm going to open up the packaging, and one way that I found best, probably because when I worked in theatre, surgical theatre, was to open up so you don't contaminate the inside of the packaging. Now we're not in a sterile field, but it's just good practice. And so you sort of open it up like this, and then you put it down. You open up your needle filter and you just open it up like that. Now it's ready. You take your syringe out of the packaging, and then you screw the needle onto the syringe like that. And then take it out. You can just leave it on the packaging for now. Then you're ready to actually open up your pregnal box. And notice in the pregnal box it comes with two glass ampules. We don't have multi-dose vials, so you have to mix it up and then just discard the rest because they're only for single use. So the long, tall ampule is the powder, and the short ampule is the water, and it's just salt water, saline. And if you can see, it actually says for single use only. And first thing you want to do is you want to make sure that all the water's out to the tip of the ampule. Sometimes you just give a little tap and hold the ampule with the little dot towards you. You can't see there's a dot there. Yeah, so, and you want to just turn it towards you. Then you take I'm right-handed, so your right hand, you butt it up against your left hand, so in that sort of position like that. Put your thumb on the dot, and you want to break it away from you, so like that. Okay. So now this is open, exposed to the air, but we've got our needle filter on top of the syringe. Okay. And because it's a Luer lock, I'm able to pull it off. If I had a Luer slip, I'd have to hold the bottom of it to take the cap off, but because it's not, I can just take the cap off and set it down, and I take my needle, put it into the ampule, and I just withdraw all of the water, the entire amount, whatever's in the ampule. But be careful not to go too fast because the plunger may come out of the syringe. But you want all the water out. Okay, so I'm reaching the end, and that's it. And then recap carefully because you'll need this in a minute. I always put it back in the packaging. I find it's a good practice so you don't potentially contaminate it. Hopefully your workspace is clean to begin with. Same thing with opening the next ampule. You want to find the black dot, because you don't need to score it. You just find the black dot, hold it in your left hand if you're right-handed, take your right hand, put it on top of the black dot, and then just, it opens up. Then I grab my syringe filled with the water, take the cap off. Sometimes I just hold the cap, and then I hold the ampule and I carefully put the water into the powder ampule. Okay, now at this point I leave the needle in because it's already reconstituted. Yeah. Actually, I don't need this for now. And then you can just open up. I'll show you. You can just pull out the dose that you need. So I recommend just pull out half of a cc to begin with, like that. Okay, and you can discard the rest. So just get rid of the rest. So now you've got half a cc. You've got some bubbles, but at this point, you can either remove a little bit more, and the way to remove bubbles, you could tap it, but rather than do this now, because you're going to lose some in here, I would recommend just taking it off. So at this point, you can take the cap and then unscrew it, and then you can have your packaging. So you can either unscrew it or you can leave it on and then put it in the packaging, and then open up your second package, and this is what you're actually injecting with. So you open up the second package. You can take the needle out and then screw it back in. So you're nearly ready for the injection. Now you've got to dial in your dose. My dose is 500 IU, so that's roughly between 0.3 and 0.4. Because you'll lose about 1/10 of a cc inside the needle, I'll dial it in just about where it needs to go. And basically just the water is just going out into the cap. And that's about right. Okay. Now, before I do that, and it's probably a good idea I should have done this earlier because it might sting, is you need to prepare the injection site. Okay, so now I'm going to get ready to prepare the injection site. Sometimes you might want to do it earlier before you do this, or you have to wait for the alcohol to dry, otherwise it might sting a little bit. And you can do this sitting down or standing up. Preparing a little area to hope I don't have too much fat on here. So you pinch a little area, and when you do the injection, well, first I'll wipe the area that I'm putting on now. You can do it intramuscularly, but it's recommended you can also do the abs subcutaneously. Let that dry for a bit. When you do the actual injection, you don't want to go straight in. You want to be at a 45-degree angle, and that helps minimize any of the pain. The solution may also burn a little bit because it's salt water. If you get salt water into a wound, it might sting where you're sort of putting inside. So that's perfectly normal. So alright, it should be dry now. And do I stand or?
You can if you like.
Okay, so it's easy to show if I'm standing. So take a bit of the area here. I'm going to inject it at that 45-degree angle. So, oops, that's fine. Pinch the area, 45 degrees, like that. Okay, and then just depress the plunger. I removed all the air before. This one burns just a little bit, and then take it out. And sometimes you put this in the in your sharp spin, and then you can also use an alcohol swab sometimes just to move it around a little bit. But that's essentially how you give yourself a subcutaneous injection. You've got to also make sure that you put all your waste into a yellow safety sharp bin, and sometimes the councils can remove the bin after it's full. And that's essentially how you do it.
Okay, so I hope you guys found that helpful. Mike was referring to a sharp spin. I don't know if you guys know what that is. I didn't initially, but it's basically a little plastic thing like this that you throw away all your sort of medical waste into, right?
So that includes any of the sharps, even the glass containers you can put through the sharp bin. And then also you can put the syringes and the needles
I don't.
You know, the syringes are, but
Yeah,
but
that's
all
yeah.
the glass bits, and especially things that have entered your body because they're considered biohazard, even though you might not think they're biohazard, but it's not fair for other people to be exposed to that. And that should be
That's it. Yeah,
that's it. So,
yeah.
and then the rest can go into the main waste.
Then, yeah. Well,
So
thanks for the demo.
Yeah.
This is something I've never used or worked with before, but I know there are a lot of other guys out there that either are going onto it or are on it and would like or needed a bit of help showing this kind of stuff. So thank you for demoing.
You're
And
welcome.
yeah, I hope you guys
it's helpful for everyone.
Yeah, I hope you found it helpful, and let us know in the comments if you like this type of video. You know, that's more of a how-to type of video, and maybe we can do more of this in the future. Mike, thanks once again for coming.
Thanks again, Paolo.
Hope to see more of you in the
too.
future. See you guys later.